In Bolivia, social movements stand in solidarity with President Arce in the face of attempts to destabilize his government. In Haiti, Prime Minister Ariel Henry confirms that the country will receive special assistance from the International Monetary Fund to address food emergency. In Europe, a local study shows that 1 in 4 people face difficulties in heating their homes. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Bolivian social organizations declare emergency and permanent mobilization in 9 departments of the country, as stated in a joint press conference with the president of the plurinational state, Luis Arce. The Bolivian Workers' Center and the Unity Pact, after ratifying their full support to the government, declared their emergency following the most recent events in Santa Cruz, when describing the events as attempts to destabilization and coup d'etat. They also highlighted the ideological and political maturity of their leaders. Juan Carlos Huarachi, Executive Secretary of the Bolivian Central Labor Union, commented on the mispresentation of the events that occurred in the east of the country. Haiti will begin receiving special funds from the International Monetary Fund to alleviate food crisis. The announcement was made by Prime Minister Henry, although without specifying whether the country would make any kind of commitment to the fund. Under the Food Shock Window program, the Caribbean country will begin to receive the resources next week. The IMF webpage explains that this program grants financial support for 1 year exclusively to solve the food emergency. Ukraine is another beneficiary of the program, although Henry assured that Haiti will be the first to receive it. After 4 days and 15 votes amid strong tensions with members of his own party, Republican Kevin McCarthy finally became President of the United States Congress. The decision was reached in the early hours of Saturday morning, and although he fell 2 votes short of the votes needed to be elected, the abstention of 6 congressmen made it possible to reduce the necessary threshold and put an end to the discussion. Before the decision, there were clashes among the congressmen promoted by supporters of former President Donald Trump, who tried to prevent the vote. The United Nations Refugee Agency condemned the recent United States immigration program as not conforming to international norms. The agency spokesman Boris Yezhirokov stated that while UNHCR applauded the opening of new and safe ways for some countries to enter the United States, these rules should not prevent migrants from exercising their fundamental human rights to seek safety. In this regard, he made reference to the recent border measures promoted by the Biden administration. The official explained that these measures deny migrants the possibility of requesting asylum in the United States if they cross from Mexico without permission, a fact that he said violates the norms of refugee law. In Argentina, 9,000 children and adolescents who are living in homes without family care will be incorporated to the Universal Child Allowance, so they will have the same right as the rest of children. This is the biggest assistance plan for children in the country. From Buenos Aires, our correspondent Fernando Alonso tells us more.
And adolescents without relatives who live in residential care facilities, and to this day they did not have cash.
There is truly no better sign of love than to take care of those who are getting older. I appreciate your work very much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, truly. And I appreciate it even more knowing that for 4 years you were totally abandoned.
The government will pay 100% of the monthly allowance to minors living in public or private residential facilities or in family care homes such as foster, transit, or solidarity families.
We are here to embrace those boys and girls who, even with those economic and material conditions generated by the state, still cannot grow where they have to grow for different reasons, and those who take care of the boys and girls here know that, for reasons that have to do a lot with personal and family tragedies. And believe me, I am convinced that besides creating material conditions, we have to build emotional conditions, loving conditions. Believe me, I am a witness of those who can grow up surrounded by love, can be happy.
The president confirmed his willingness not to reduce social spending in spite of the goals set against the deficit and criticized the stance of opposition candidates who suggest leaving everything in the hands of the market.
There's only one word: justice. There's no other word for it. Some may believe we're wasting money, and here's what I say: I am happy to waste money on social justice. There's nothing nicer than putting money on Argentinian men and women's equality. Some of us believe that it is called social investment, and we are happy to continue investing. Others think that someday the market will fix this, and some others think that, well, that's life. Some of us dare to say that there are poor people everywhere, and we have to get used to living with the poor. There's nothing more indecent than getting used to poverty, because poverty is a permanent call to the souls of those who have taken up politics to put an end to such injustice.
The benefits will also be granted to children and adolescents with disabilities. The funds belong to them and will be received by the person who fulfills the role of companion. The money cannot be used for food, health, and clothing.
Fernando Alonso, TeleSUR, Argentina.
On Friday, the Uruguayan National Fire Department declared extinguished the forest fire near the town of Algorta in the department of Rio Negro. The department issued this declaration after firefighters and authorities of the National Fund had thoroughly examined the area and observed no persistent fire hazard indicator in 8 hours period. However, many fire departments in metropolitan areas such as Colón, Melilla, Pando, and Toledo Chico reported 4 more fires likely to spread, which they are working to extinguish. According to authorities, these fires usually occur this time of the year due to high temperatures and lack of rainfall. They have also confirmed they possess every means necessary to extinguish those fires. Let us take a short break, but first remember you can follow us on TikTok at the account at teleSUR English, in which you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up, stay with us. Welcome back from the south. In Eurasia, the Russian army respects the unilateral Christmas truce while attacks by Ukrainian forces continue. According to the authorities of the Russian Defense Ministry, during the last 24 hours, the Ukrainian troops continued their bombing of several residential localities in the Donetsk region. The Defense Ministry assured that the Ukrainian forces suffered more than 100 casualties in unsuccessful attacks on several Russian positions in the Donetsk area and in the Kharkov region as a result of the return fire. In spite of this, he assured that the ceasefire regime decreed by President Vladimir Putin will be maintained until 24 hours this Saturday. The truce was declared unilaterally by Russia following a call by the head of the Orthodox Church in Russia, Petra Kirill of Moscow, allowing believers to visit the churches. According to this tradition, Orthodox Christians around the world celebrate Jesus' birth this Saturday, January 7th. Orthodox Christmas is celebrated in several countries in Eurasia, including Belarus, Bulgaria, Israel, Kazakhstan, Moldova, Russia, Serbia, Turkey, and Ukraine, as well as in several countries in Africa, including Ethiopia and Egypt. During January 6, the followers attended the religious events of the Holy Night and also participated in the traditional Holy Night fasting and the elaboration of the 12 dishes, each one representing one of the 12 apostles who accompanied Jesus Christ. This January 7th, the followers attend masses to celebrate the birth of one of who, according to tradition, would be the Savior, the world's Savior. In Europe, a local study reveals that 1 out of every 4 people face difficulties in heating their homes. According to the results of the survey named Europe Project, at least 26% of the population, representing approximately 100 million people, cannot adequately heat their homes, being Greece the most affected by this problem. 1 out of 4 interviewed stated that they were unable to pay their heating bill at least once during the year 2022 due to the inflationary crisis and the increase in commodities. The survey also reported that heating bills have become much less affordable than they were in 2021, while also reiterating that nations such as Portugal and France are affected by 34%, while Finland, Hungary, Austria, and Denmark register around 15%. On Saturday, the Greek government announced the erection of a fence in the northwest of the country all along the land border with Turkey. According to local media, the authorities declared that the construction of the first 35 kilometers of the border fence will start immediately with an estimated budget of 100 million euros. The government also stated the decision means to end the illegal migration of Turkish citizens into Greek territory. It also represents a response to alleged provocations by Ankara towards Athens at the diplomatic and territorial level. Also, the Greek border authorities assured that in 2022 they prevented at least 256,000 immigrants from illegally entering the country, and the national police detained more than 1,300 irregular people transporters coming from Turkey. The United Kingdom is experiencing another day of strikes in the worst wave of demonstrations the country has seen in decades. The government continues to reject the workers' demands. Although Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is meeting today with health workers who are also on strike, it is the rail workers' crisis that is having the greatest impact on the country. The coordinated strikes involve thousands of public sector workers, including teachers, firefighters, and immigration service workers. British experts say it is the worst period of social protest since 1980, which, coupled with double-digit inflation, is having a major impact on the economy and the quality of life of the population. In Australia, the governor declared a state of emergency in the western regions of the country after heavy rains. The Prime Minister of the oceanic nation, Anthony Albanese, stated that the torrential rains caused unprecedented flooding in the western region. These floods will have a dramatic impact in the west. The emergency services have declared the situation as the most catastrophic ever suffered by the Kimberley region, with flooded rivers. The Kimberley region has an extension of land larger than many European nations but has less than 40,000 inhabitants. So far, no deaths or losses have been registered in this area of the country. There's growing concern among United States residents over a sudden spike in COVID-19 infections tied to a new Omicron variant that is now responsible for more than 40% of the cases recorded in December. Data suggests that the number of infections is much higher in the Northeast. Labeled XBB 1.5, the Center for Disease Control said the variant is currently responsible for about 75% of confirmed cases in this region. Nationally, the strain has spread exponentially after rising from about 4% of COVID-19 infections at the start of December to about 41% by the end of the month. Public health experts say there are certain characteristics that make the new strain more transmissible, like its aggressiveness in terms of not responding to treatment, especially antibody treatment. More after a final short break, so don't go away. Welcome back from the south. On Friday, the Democratic Republic of Congo, M23 rebels handed over a strategic base of the Congolese army. East African regional forces took control of the Rumangabo military base after it was handed over by M23 rebels who held the facility for 2 months. The rebels labeled the gesture as a symbol of peace in reference to a November summit in Angola where Rwanda and the DRC demanded a cessation of M23 hostilities as well as their withdrawal. On the other hand, the Congolese army has called the withdrawals a force, considering that despite having retired from some strategic locations, they have occupied more territory. On Wednesday, Israel handed over to the authorities of Palestine the corpses of two Palestinians killed over 2 years ago. In a statement, the Palestinian Civil Affairs Ministry said Israeli authorities handed over the corpses of Ashraf Halaseh, age 30, and that of Mohammad Amuro, age 46. The deceased were from Al-Zawahri town in occupied East Jerusalem and from Hebron in the occupied West Bank, respectively. Halaseh was shot dead by Israeli troops in August 2020 in East Jerusalem, while Amuro was killed in February 2021 near the illegal Etzion settlement in Bethlehem. The two bodies were only now returned to their families for burial. Israel still withholds 114 Palestinian corpses since 2015, in addition to another 256 who have been buried in the so-called Numbers Cemetery. We've come to the end of this newsbrief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. Also join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For Telesur English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.